Hello friend, welcome back. So in this today's session we will learn Spring MVC with Springboot. So far we have seen the introduction of a Springboot configuration and Springboot data JPA we have seen. So in today's session we will see Spring MVC framework using Springboot. So what is Spring MVC? Spring Web MVC, it is a web MVC, is the original web framework built on top of servlet. We know in Java we can create web application using servlets only. There is no other technology that can be used to create a Java based web application. Only on the servlet is the only technology that can be used to create the web application in Java. So using servlet, Spring has developed a framework called Spring MVC or Spring Web MVC, and that can be used to create a web application. So the formal name Spring Web MVC comes from the name of its source, Spring Web MVC. We know Spring Web MVC is a one module inside Spring, and that module is used to create the Springboot web application. So along with the Springboot we can use WebFlex for reactive web application, or we can use TimeLeaf to create a web application dynamic page, or JSP also you can use, but JSP is the old one and there are so many limitations in JSP. We should not use JSP now because TimeLeaf is more convenient and it's a very simple, and the extension also will be .html file. We no need to give any .jsp or anything, so we can use TimeLeaf. And in this session we will use TimeLeaf. Later on we will learn TimeLeaf and WebFlex thoroughly in some other sessions. But in this session we will see what is Spring MVC, how we can create a web MVC application, how we can develop a UI. So one end-to-end flow and one end-to-end working application we will develop, and we will learn that one. Okay, so Spring MVC is nothing but a web-based web framework given by Spring on top of servlet API, and that can be used to develop the web application. Okay, now question is, what is MVC? MVC stands for Model View Controller. It is a framework that MVC is Model View Controller design pattern, you can say, that is using front-end design pattern to develop the application. So MVC is nothing but it is a framework. It is a web framework that is used to create a web application. So what is MVC? MVC is nothing but a model view controller, an architectural framework or architectural pattern framework that can be used to create the web application. We can say that MVC is a model view controller framework, and it is an architectural design pattern that separates the application into three main logic. So what is MVC? MVC is model view controller framework, and model view framework is an architectural design pattern that separate an application into three main logics. So what is the three main logics? That is model, view and controller. So first one is view. We will start from view. This from this diagram you can easily understand what is the meaning of view, what is controller and what is model. So view is nothing but your UI part. Our UI, whatever we are seeing in our application, either that is a web application or standalone application, every application has a view. Every application has a UI that can be used to interact with the user, or user will enter the data using UI, or user will give instruction to the machine by UI. So that is nothing but view. That is nothing but view. And view side technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Thymeleaves or JSP, any of the technologies we can use. HTML, CSS and JavaScript we will use as a combined component that can be used to create a UI application. Bootstrap is also including JavaScript and CSS. Thymeleaf is used to create a dynamic web application. Thymeleaf is used to create a dynamic web application, dynamic web UI, or we can say dynamic, to create a dynamic view we can use Thymeleaf, or JSP also we can use, but JSP is an obsoleted or it's a deprecated. We should not use that one because JSP is nothing but, this is again a servlet only, and this JSP first will be converted to your servlet and then servlet code will be executed, and whatever the JSP code we have included in our .jsp file all will be converted to HTML. So that is a lengthy process. It will performance wise it will not perform better because it will increase the response time. Why? Because first JSP will be converted to servlet, then servlet will be executed, and then again it will be converted to .html. It will be shown as an .html file. So it's a time, it will take time, and its response time will increase in this process. But if you use Thymeleaf, then extension itself will be .jsp and very lightweight also. So we will use Thymeleaf. We are not going to see here JSP. Okay, so HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap and Thymeleaf, that technologies can be used to create the view. View is nothing but the UI. UI will send a request. UI will send the request in form of HTTP protocol, hypertext transfer protocol. Using HTTP protocol, your UI application will send a request to controller. Controller is nothing but, this is an Java class, and that will handle the client request. Now we have seen in our servlet session, and we have seen that in Java only servlet is the one technology that can be used to create the web application, no other technology. If you want to develop a web application, we have to learn servlets, and servlet is the only technology that can be used to create the web application. But here there is no servlet. Then how it is working? Because controller is here, we are seeing here controller is handling the client request, but in Java web application we have seen servlet will handle the client request. So here Spring framework has given its own servlet, that name is dispatcher servlet. Spring has given its own servlet. Spring has created one servlet, that name is dispatcher servlet, and that dispatcher servlet will communicate to controller. Dispatcher servlet will communicate to controller, and controller will again communicate to service layer, and that service layer will communicate to repository, and repository is directly linked with the database. So request will be coming to controller, means request is coming to dispatcher servlet, and dispatcher servlet is identifying what is URL, what is the URL path, and dispatcher servlet will find a matching path controller who is going to handle the request. We have to configure, we have to create controller, and we have to define our URL. So dispatcher servlet is identifying the request URL and the request type, and the dispatcher servlet is forwarding the request to controller. Again, controller collecting the client data, and it is calling to service by passing the required parameter or required data. Service again will communicate to repository by passing the data, and from the repository that repository is communicating to your database, and from the database your repository getting the data, and it is giving back the response to service. Again, that service is passing the same data to controller. Again, controller is validating that one, or controller is holding the data, and controller will give response back to your UI, or controller will give response back to your view in form of HTTP protocol. So that is nothing but HTTP response. Controller will give HTTP response. Controller will accept HTTP response, will give HTTP response. Okay, so this is model view and controller. Model view and controller. And model view controller framework is an architectural or design pattern that separate an application into three main logics. So here you can see three logics are there. One logic, that is UI, your UI, and another layer is your controller layer that will handle the client request, and third layer is your model that will do the database operations. Okay, fine. So this is MVC. Now we will create an application, a demo application. We will see how we can create the Spring Web MVC application. So first one, we can create that application using starter.spring.io. You can use this one. You just click on this one, this will create here. Yes, you can see. So from here we can create our web application, or we can create using your ID, Spring Toolshoot also you can use, or you can use NetBean or Eclipse, whatever ID you wanted to use you can use. Here we are going to use Spring Toolshoot. So first we will create our application here. So here what you have to details you have to give. First, it is giving a project. It should be a Groovy, Kotlin or Maven. So it should be Maven project. We are not going to use Groovy, we are using here Java. So Maven project we will create. So select your project as a Maven. Language, which one you wanted to use. So Java, we want to use Java only. You can use Kotlin or Groovy, that's your choice. Okay, here Springboot, the version, the latest version is 3.0.2. 3.0.2. And okay, so this is your latest version. Here you have to give your group ID, like here we can give the group dot demo, just demo, just we are just creating that application. So com.demo you can give, or com.techhub.demo, whatever you want to do give, that is your choice. Artifact, anything like demo A, you can give demo 1 or demo A, it's fine. Okay, name and artifact, it automatically populated, it will come. Next one is a description. Any description, if you want to give some description, or you can keep as it is, that is your choice. Next one is a package demo. So this one is your package MVC demo or demo.mvc, anything, demo.mvc you can give. Okay, that's it. Here now you have to select your packaging type, that either that should be jar or var. So our application is a web application, we want to create a var file. In that case you can create jar also for web application, because why they have given these two features, because we know Java application can be of two types. One is standalone application. For standalone application we can create a jar, or if it is a web application we can create a var. Var is for web application, jar is for Java standalone application that can be executed in your system directly, and var application will be running in your web container like Tomcat or Apache server. So why Spring is giving here jar? Because if we are creating this web application, then we should not give this as a jar, no, we should give it a var. Yeah, you can give jar also. Why? Because Spring is including an embedded Tomcat in web application. Spring will include embedded Tomcat inside is its standalone application. So standalone application you can start in the same way how we are starting a Java application from the command line. So but here we are creating this as a var. Okay, this packaging type you can select to var, and this is the Java version, latest version you can take, or Java 17, that is a recommended version. Now this is the current version 19, you can use this one, but that is the. And one more thing, you have to install your latest JDK 17 at least you should have, latest version, or 18, 19 you also can give, but at least it should be 17. Okay, fine. So here after that one you have to add your dependency. So since we want to create our application as a web application, so we have to select Spring Web. So this is nothing but the starter, web starter, Spring Web Starter, and what it is including: build web including RESTful application using Spring MVC. So we need to use this we need to add web dependency. Use Apache Tomcat as a default embedded server. Yeah, so this dependency automatically include an embedded Tomcat in your application. So in that case, if your application is jar, then also it will run in your server, because inside application it is including your web server. Okay, default Apache Tomcat it is adding. Okay, next one we need to use Thymeleaf. Thymeleaf is what? A modern server side Java template engine for both web and standalone environment. Allow HTML to be correctly displayed in browser and static prototype. So this one we have, because Spring is deprecated, we are not going to use. So in that case we have to use create a dynamic web application. So that is nothing but Thymeleaf only. Okay, next one we need to create JPA starter. So what is JPA starter? But this is a persistence data. JPA we need to add. So if you are specifying JPA, then definitely you have to tell which database you wanted to use. You wanted to use Oracle, so you can add Oracle, or if you wanted to use MySQL, you can use MySQL. So MySQL driver you add MySQL driver, or if you wanted to use Oracle driver, Oracle you can use, but we are going to use here MySQL. So you just select this MySQL. Now these 4 dependencies we have to select. So first one is for web application, that will include your Spring MVC module and Apache Tomcat as an embedded container. Thymeleaf, that is used to create a server-side Java template engine. This is a modern server-side Java template engine for both web and standalone environment, so that HTML can be correctly displayed in your browser. Okay, Spring Data JPA, so that is a Spring Data JPA starter. It will add persistence data in SQL store, that Java persistence with Java persistence API using Spring Data and Hibernate. It is automatically using. Okay, and we need to specify which database we want to use. We are adding that driver. Either you can use MongoDB, you can whatever the database is, Oracle, Postgre, whatever you wanted to use you can use, but here we are going to use MySQL, so just I am adding this MySQL driver. That's it. And if you want to see what will be your project structure, you can click on this explore. You can click on this explore. So this explore is doing what? Here it is showing this is your pom.xml. You can see this pom.xml here. So inside your pom.xml, one parent project will be created by your Spring. That will automatically, this parent project is automatically configuring your servlet, because we have to configure servlet. If we are creating servlet, then definitely we have to configure our servlet. And where is the servlet? Dispatcher servlet is given by your Spring. So that servlet has to be configured. So how it will be configured? Using this parent project. Okay, this is our project group ID, project artifact ID, this is our version, our packaging we have selected to var, our project name is a demo A. This one, the description that we have given, you can change later also here directly after downloading this one, or you can change into that one UI, it will be changed. This is your Java version that we are going to use. Okay, and here are the dependencies. So from this dependency, from these dependency, yeah, so from these dependency, your Spring Boot is automatically opinionating what configuration I should do, I should look for, what configuration your Spring should look for. So Spring Starter Data JPA, it is a JPA data starter. This is a JPA, Spring JPA, it is starting. This is a theme leaf, starting the theme leaf template, adding that one. This is adding a Spring Web MVC module, Spring Web module, you are adding your Spring. This is your MySQL driver, MySQL driver. This one is embedded Tomcat, this is embedded Tomcat. Okay, and this one is your Spring Boot starter test, Spring Boot test related libraries is adding. Okay, and this is your plugin, Spring plugin. Okay, fine. So you can just download this one by clicking on this generate, and your demo A project will be downloaded, this one. And if you extract here, you will see the same structure. This one will be your pom.xml. This is your pom.xml. Yes, same pom.xml, it's coming here. So, and that project you can include in your, you can import in your IDE. In IDE you can import that project, or else in the second way to create that web application, Spring Boot web application using IDE, that is also simple. So what you have to do, you have to go to file, new, Spring Starter project, click on Spring Starter project. Here you have to specify all the details. See, type Groovy, no, we want to go with Maven. Packaging var, language Java version, yeah, the default version 17. Group ID like com.TechHub, same information that we have given here, TechHub.demo, demo B or demo A, whatever you wanted to give, you can give. Version, let it be as it is, because this is a development mode, so snapshot you have to include. If it is not in development mode, you can remove this snapshot. If it is your application is in production mode, you can remove this one, and this version you can use. Snapshot means it's in development mode. Okay, description, you can let it be, or you can change according to whatever the description you wanted to use, or you can give any description like my first MVC application using Spring Boot, anything. Okay, packaging com dot TechHub dot demo dot MVC, anything, whatever you wanted to give, you can give your package name. Okay, fine, that's it. Next you have to click on next. Here you have to add your dependencies. We have seen in this UI also, you can see we have given here dependency. Here all the same information: group ID, artifact name, description, package name, packaging either var or jar, language, project, Maven, Spring Boot version. So all we have given here. Here also you can see all the details is there. Yes, all the details are same here, you can see. Yes, here one thing is not there, that is what Spring Boot version, which one, 3.0.2, but here we have not selected, so it is coming here above. See, when you go for the next one, it is coming here. Here is the version. Here we have to add the dependency like web, Spring Web, time leaf we have to add, and JPA, Spring Data JPA we need to add, MySQL driver we need to add. These four we have added here also, you can see: web, time leaf, Spring Data JPA, MySQL driver. So Spring Data JPA, MySQL driver, time leaf and Spring Web, and just click on next and finish. So your project will be created and it will be opening here. Yes, so it is coming. Demo boot. This boot is your Spring Boot project. So it is coming here, and you can observe here deployment resources. It means this is a web application, and here you can see your project structure. So here if you see pom.xml, first we will explore pom.xml. here also same will be, this will be your pom.xml. you can see here Spring Boot starter data JPA, time leaf, Spring Boot starter web for web enablement, for web MVC, Spring Data that is used to create your JPA, and time leaf, a time leaf engine, and this is your MySQL driver, this is your Tomcat embedded server, and this one is your test library. Okay, so you can add here, and along with this one it has these features, these directory structure. So this is your Java, here where you will keep your all Java related code, and inside that one if you see 2 classes will come by default. So what does it and what is the use of this? First is we will see servlet initializer. So this is your servlet initializer. We know we have to configure our servlet, we have to initialize our servlet. Which servlet? Dispatcher servlet. So that one is initializing here, servlet initializing, Spring Boot servlet initializer. Very simply it is initializing. We just have to give our application main class. So this is our application main class, and here if you see this one is your demo application. So this is marked with @Spring Boot application. What does it mean? Spring Boot application we have seen in our Spring introduction and in Spring Data JP also. This Spring Boot application is the combination of component scan, @configuration and enable auto configuration. So these 3 annotation is comprised into this one. If you wanted to see, you can see Spring enable auto configuration, component scan, and Spring Boot configuration or Spring configuration. Okay, that's it. So this one is the structure here. So we are just I'm deleting this one because no other is there. And here if you see here resource folder is also coming. These are the static template. Whatever the HTML files you will keep, you want to keep, you can keep here, or you can modify that locations. We will see in our this in this application, Springboot MVC demo application, because we have already created that application. Okay, next is application property. That application dot properties file is used to configure the used for the configuration for Springboot application. So how it is, suppose if I will right click in this one and if I will run as Springboot app, so where that application will be started? Application will be started on default port. Which port? 8080. What happened? You will not specify embedded data source. Okay, so we need to specify data source. Data source is not specified because why? Because we have given here Springboot start data JPA. So it is looking, your Spring is automatically looking for any of the database like H2, HSQL, Derby, any databases, or MySQL, Oracle, Postgre, any databases. You have to give the configuration because you are adding Spring data JPA. So I am just closing this one and just deleting this one, because we have already created that application. I will show you those. Delete this one, delete. Okay, fine. So just close this one. Okay, so this is the same application, Springboot. We have given the name as a Springboot MVC demo, and here you will see same servlet initializer is same, but phone book application, or you can, I think this is application name is something different. Okay, leave it, phone book application, but this is customer application. You can give this name refactor here, refactor. CUSTO, customer application. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's refactored. So this is our servlet initializer, same how we have seen in this just created demo, same. Customer application, so customer application has some different configuration we have given. Other than this one, we have given these three beans. Actually, what are that beans? This bean is nothing but template engine. Like we are going to use TimeLeaf. So for TimeLeaf we need to give TimeLeaf view resolver, and inside that TimeLeaf view resolver we have to give template engine. What is your template engine? Spring template engine, because TimeLeaf will use a template engine to create render your HTML files in your browser. We will see in a separate session or in separate course, where we will only see what is TimeLeaf, how to configure TimeLeaf in your servlet, or using servlet, or using a Spring Boot, or using Spring or Spring Boot, or using servlet. How we will configure the TimeLeaf and how we can create that application. We will see in a different session. But here just you understand, Spring template engine that is used by your TimeLeaf view resolver to render your TimeLeaf application. Okay, that's it. And here is the Spring resource template resolver, where our views will be. We know what is views. Views our HTML pages. If you see this definition, what is view? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, TimeLeaf, JSP, etc. That is a view. So view resolver, Spring resource template resolver is used to resolve the views, where our views file will be. So for prefix it will be web.inf.views, and suffix will be .html file. If you are using TimeLeaf, you no need to specify .html. You no need to specify also this one, because TimeLeaf extension will always be .html only. But still you want to specify, you can specify. And set template mode HTML5 and return this template resolver. So these three beans we have to create. And these three are imported from these packages. org.thymeleaf spring 6 template. So it is coming from where? Spring template engine is coming from where? It is coming from org.thymeleaf package. Spring resource template resolver is again coming from Thymeleaf. Spring 6 we are using here, and view Thymeleaf view resolver. So this is not coming from your Spring framework, that is coming from your Thymeleaf dependency. Okay, so these three we are creating for Thymeleafs only. Okay, remaining the servlet initializer, that is same, nothing is there. Okay, now we have created our controller, DTO, model, repository, service and adapter. We will see what exactly. And here is our view. Here is our views. Inside web.inf under views, our .html files will be our views. Okay, so let's see. So we have created in this way. So here you have observed that pom.xml, there is no web.xml. You can see, since our application is web application, but if we want to create a web application in by using servlet, we have to give web.xml. Yeah, we can avoid web.xml because we can use annotations for servlet configuration, listener configuration. We can use annotation. In that case we can ignore web.xml. No, so the same thing Spring is doing. Spring is using no web.xml. Why? Because it is configuring using annotations. Okay, so the Spring Boot starter web auto configure the dispatcher servlet by default. So unless you wish to override the default, you must need to use web.xml to configure the dispatcher servlet. Okay, no dispatcher servlet, because inside web.xml what we can do, we can configure our dispatcher servlet, and inside dispatcher servlet.xml we will give the Spring configuration. But that is also not required, because all the configuration it is handled by customer application, your application, this class where the main method will be there. This one line is configuring everything. This one line, Spring application run, which application? Customer application. That's it, by passing this argument. So automatically your Spring will configure Spring dispatcher servlet, your Spring Boot Spring configuration, creating the beans, creating the controller, service, everything it is configuring. You no need to have any of the configuration. Okay, fine. Okay, so servlet initializer is happening, customer application is creating, and here are our views. Inside this CSS we have put a custom CSS, that is my custom CSS, just for error, to show the reds in red color error. We can show the error in red color, so that's why I have given custom.css. Another one is your bootstrap. We will see in separate session what is bootstrap. Bootstrap is nothing but it is a CSS file only, but they have given some default styles for all the tags, like that can be if it is a button, or if it is a your input field, if it is a label, any drop down, any layout. For that one they have given a style in bootstrap.min.css, so you can directly include that one. There is no issue. We will see that in some different session when we will see learn HTML and CSS. Okay, so that is a bootstrap and this one. Okay, so just you can close, and here inside web.inf we have, you can see we have a views, because we have specified our prefix for our UI part. So prefix is webinf, under webinf views, under views we will keep all the files. So here under webinf under webinf views is there, and under the views all the view files are kept. Okay, fine. So this is only the structure of our application. This is our structure. Next one, so there is no web.xml, no dispatcher server.xml. Okay, now in our application properties, we have to specify these configurations. So what are these configuration? So I will show you our resource application.properties. Okay, so here you can see we have just seen in the previous application that we created, we were not able to run. Why? Because our application is looking for data source configuration. Your Spring was looking for data source configuration, and data source was not configured, your application not started. So for that purpose we have specified our data source including database URL, database username and database password. Database URL will including your driver, your JDBC you are using, what is your database name, what is your application host port number, application host IP and port number, and what is your database name. These all information is carried in under URL. We have seen in the sessions of JDBC also. And username is your server application username and your password. This is JPA configuration. You want to show the SQL. Yeah, I want to show SQL. So spring.jpa.show SQL true. Mark it as a true. Okay. Spring.jpa.hibernate. This is Hibernate related configuration. We will see Hibernate in a separate session. So Hibernate we have to give Hibernate auto DDL as update, because whenever we are modifying our tables structure, automatically it will update, or it will automatically create your tables. And this is your dialect, which database we wanted to use, because see for MySQL queries format will be different, little bit changes will be there. If we are using Oracle, the query structure might change a little bit, not much, it will change, or some extra character or extra keyword will be added in Oracle. So for that purpose Spring is using dialect, Hibernate is using dialect. The dialect will tell to your Hibernate what is your database. According to the database you have to create the SQL queries. So that is nothing but Hibernate dialect. So our Hibernate dialect is MySQL. Okay, and you can format the query is equal, like query will be formatted and it will be shown in your console. Okay, so these are the configuration here we have added. Okay. So fine, and here this is our server port. By default application port will be started into 8080, but we are modifying that port 8082. And this is your application context path. We have seen what is application context path in our servlet application, what is context path. So this is your application context path, we can specify here. Fine. But this application context path will work only when you are running your application into embedded server. If your application you are running into any other server, so in that server whatever your var file name will be, that will be your context path, it will change. Okay, fine. So next one is view. What is view here? View is our HTML files. I can close this one. So view is nothing but our HTML files. So this is your index.html. You can see this is your view. Welcome to customer dashboard. Here 3. So in our application, what is the functionality that we have implemented in our web application? It is a customer application. In that one, what we can do, we can add our customer, we can view the customer, we can delete the customer, and we can update the customer. That functionalities we have implemented. We have implemented, we have created an application. We have created an application that is adding the customer, deleting the customer, viewing the customer, and updating the customer detail. So this one is your dashboard, and if I will run this application, you will see the UI. So run on server. Automatically it will open your browser when application is started. Yes, so this is your application. Welcome to customer dashboard. Here we have the features to add new customer, view customer, delete the customer. So before to see that one, let's observe all the controller service repository. So just to stop this one. So here view is, what is view? That can be the view can be any UI technology such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, JSP, Thymeleaf, Angular, React, to represent the data on UI. That is a user interface. View is nothing but a user interface, and any technology can be used to create the view, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, JSP, Thymeleaf, Angular, React, any of them, to represent the data on UI. That is nothing but user interface. And to send the data to @controller also, it will send the request to controller also with the help of DTO, data transfer object. So here we have three components. One is view, another one is controller, and another one is a DTO. So view is used to send the data to controller or to dispatcher servlet using DTO. So what is controller? What will be the structure of controller, and what is the view? So here so this is our view, index.html or add customer.html also you can see. So this is nothing but an adding the customer, add customer, you can see. So here if you see this add customer, here one form will be there. So this form will be submitted. Form will have input fields like customer name, mobile number, email ID, description, price, customer gender, and radio button, like customer gender that can be male, female, other, or customer birth date, or customer services, which services, like here we have given three service A, B, C, which service customer want to take, and then we are just submitting. So this is our submit form. So and this is your UI. You have seen what is UI. We have created using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So this is our HTML, Java, CSS, this one that we have linked here, custom CSS, and bootstrap means CSS. Okay, mostly after bootstrap it should come. You can add it later, no issue. That is same only, but it might override, so that's why we need to add after bootstrap. Okay. So this is fine. This is your UI, and so UI will send, this form will be submitted to add customer. You can see here this form will submit the data to add customer URL. This is your URL. So where is this add customer? Here you can see UI user interface and send the data to controller with the help of DTO. So where is DTO? Data transfer object here. So this is your form UI, and this is the URL for your controller, and this is your DTO, customer DTO. That this DTO is sending the data to controller. Which controller? This is your controller, you can see. So in this controller, add customer is there. Add customer is there, but add customer, this add customer is not accepting any data. It is just to show your UI, add customer UI, and here model and view is used to resolve the UI. So if you see, first is we are seeing index. First we are seeing our index.html. how it is index.html is coming here. This index.html is coming because of this one, showing customer. So if I run this one, and I will show you once more. Yes, this is started. Now this is your index page. So here if you, I will clear this console once, and you can see here it is printing showing customer dashboard, and then it is returning index. What is index? What is index? Index is your view name, index. And what is the extension? .html, where we have specified that configuration. This one we have specified here under web inf, views. Under views you have to give your view name, and that extension is, the views extension is .html. So that is only it is happening here. It is going under web inf, views. Under view index.html is there, because it is giving here returning index.html, and I am printing showing customer dashboard. So if I refresh this one, you will see in your console it will print showing customer dashboard. So it is showing customer dashboard, and it is returning index. So what is model and view here? What is model and view? Model is nothing but your DTO, your data transfer object class, and view is what we have seen. What is our view? View is any UI user interface using HTML, CSS, JavaScript that can be used to send the data. So that is our view. So this is our view, this is our view, and this view is, this is view, and model is what? Our DTO is model. Suppose if I will show to add customer, see this is your add customer. If I will click on add customer, so it is showing this your add customer page. Here we are entering some of the details. We will enter some detail and we will trying to submit, but before to submit, you can see it is printing in console what? Entering into add new customer. Yes, entering into add new customer. And here you can see this is your model and view clear example. So here after printing entering into add new customer, it is inside this model. This is your model. Inside this model you are adding model dot add attribute, model dot add attribute. Which attribute? DTO. What is the use of this DTO? This DTO is used to carry the data from UI. DTO is that will be used to carry the data. So here if you see in your add customer, here ThymeLeaf, th stand for ThymeLeaf dot object. What is that object name? Customer DTO. Object name is customer DTO, and this customer DTO is this one. This is your customer DTO. Thus this is your name. This is attribute name customer DTO. This customer DTO name should same this one. If it is not matching with this name, it is in that case your ThymeLeaf will not able to find the DTO. Okay, fine. So this is your model, or you can add this model in the different way also. So let's stop this one. So here you are adding this using this model, but you can use this model and view also. So here model and view, model and view, model and view, and return model and view. This one you can do in this way also. You can just clear, you can just this one, and same thing you can do using this one also. Model and view, add attribute, same. Add object, here you need to add object. You can use in this way. Customer controller. Okay, so if I run this one, and you will see again. Add customer, it is coming. And if you see, this validation is failing. So the same thing is happening, same thing is happening. You can do using, you can add attribute using model and view. So this is your model and view. View is your view technology, whatever the view name, like index is your view name here, add customer or index, whatever, that will be your add customer. This is your view. And which is your model, which is your model, this is your model customer, new customer we are adding. So this is your view. Okay, new DTO. So this is your model and this is your view, add customer. This add customer is your view. Okay. So I'm just giving the old one, just you can close this one, no issue. Okay, and this one you can directly return. Or else you can delete this one. Okay, yes, fine. So it is reloading the context is reloaded, and if you refresh it or if you go to back, it will work. Yes, now if I clear this one and I will show you. So what it will come, if I refresh this one, if I refresh, it is showing, it is entering into add new customer. So it is coming here, entering into add new customer. From here it is adding one model, it is adding one model customer DTO. That customer DTO, it is your UI will use to send the data, and it is returning add customer view name. Add customer view name is add customer. What is add customer? Add customer is our add customer.html file. So this is your view controller and DTO, view controller and DTO. Okay. So here after this one it will come to add customer. So here you can see one mapping URL can be of two types. One is get mapping. So this is your get. 4 types of mapping are there. We know 4 methods are there: get, post, put, delete. Get is used to get the data. Post is used to add the data. Put is used to update the data, and delete is used to delete the data. Four card operations we know we have in our database. 4 card operations are there. One is addition of data, that can be done through post mapping. Another one is reading the data. Reading the data is nothing but the getting the data, so that is get mapping. Another one is delete, to delete the data. Put is used to update the data, but we are not going to use here put, because in HTML only get and post are supported. Delete and put we can use in our REST APIs. Okay, so here add customer, this add customer is used to add the data. This add customer is only to show the add customer view. Here you can see we have just, if you go to the home URL, you can see here add new customer is there. So it is showing here, showing customer dashboard. It is just customer dashboard is coming. But here when you click on add new customer, this view is coming. Now in this view data you can add and you can send the data to the server by clicking on this submit button. So this add customer is used to show the UI, to add the customer. This add customer is used to add the details of your customer, and here you can see add customer. So here is your add customer, that is taking one model attribute, and that model attribute should be validated. And this model attribute, if your model attribute has any error, so it's executing this one if it has any error. Otherwise this is calling your say method of a service. So I'm just stopping this server and we are going to next. What is controller? @controller handle the client web browser. Handle the client is what is client? Client is nothing but your web browser request. So controller handles the client request in form of HTTP protocol via dispatcher servlet, via dispatcher servlet of Spring MVC generate. So via dispatcher servlet of Spring MVC and generate the HTTP response in form of UI component along with the DTO, data transfer object. Okay, next one is service. Here you can see this is for error. If it has any error, then it will return add customer again. If your data, whatever the data you are passing into your this model attribute or in this DTO, that data is not valid, then in that case we need to show add customer page again, because error are there in the same. I am entering the name, but the name should not contain any digit 1 2 3 4, so that is an error. So in that case you have to return to UI page again. Which UI page? Customer, add customer to this UI it should come. So that is, in that case, if your binding result or errors has error, in that case set the view name as add customer, and you have to add the model, same model, this same model you can add here, so that the data will not be gone. Whatever the data is filled in other fields, the data should remain same. It should not be like that again the data has to be filled again. No, it should be remain same. In that case you have to add this customer data only, so that customer data will be added again, and it will returning model and view, and that model and view will be resolved with add customer view name. This name, add customer view name, and along with this DTO, customer DTO, and here in this customer DTO we are taking. Okay, but in case of the data is valid, what it is doing, it is saving the data to database. So to saving the data, we need to follow this diagram. No, controller will communicate with service. Controller will communicate to service now, and service will communicate to repository. Repository will communicate to your database, and from the database your repository will get the data and will give the data back to service, and again that service will pass the same data to your controller. Again controller will do what? Controller will give HTTP response to your UI that we have seen here. Your controller is giving response by model and view. By model and view, your controller is returning the response. This model and view will be taken by dispatcher servlet, and dispatcher servlet will take the view name and will resolve with the view. And if inside your model and view, if you have added any model, any data into model, so that data your Spring will take and will add that data to your UI also. So this is the flow here. So now here we have to see the service controller, that is okay, that will handle the client web browser request in form of HTTP via dispatcher servlet and will generate HTTP response from the UI using DTO. And what is service? So communication with the repositories. So what service is doing? Service is communicating with the repository to query the data from data source, and controller is communicating to service for what? For data, to save the data, to delete the data, to update the data, to get the data, to do any CURD operation. Controller has to communicate with service. Controller has to communicate with the service. So this is your controller, that should be marked with @controller annotation, you can see. And this one you have already know what is the meaning of this auto wired. We have already seen in our Spring application. Spring and Springboot both we have seen. Okay. So here your controller will handle the client request via dispatcher servlet and generate HTTP response along with DTO, and Spring controller will communicate to service. You can see here customer service is there. This is your service. So controller will also communicate to your service, and again the service will what will do. If I open this service, customer service, so you just go here, open the service, customer service. This is just an interface. Here is the interface, and this is the implementation. This is your implementation. So in your customer service we have defined save customer, update customer, get customer, delete customer, and get all customer methods. Because since we know this is an interface, we can define only the abstraction here, fully 100% abstraction we can specify. So this is your pure abstraction. What it is telling, I am just here, what it is telling, please save this customer, or please add this customer to your database. That's it. I am sending a DTO. This DTO has to be added to database. That's it, this job. This one is to update the customer, updating by passing this DTO. Please update this customer, please get this customer. I will send a customer ID, please give me the customer. Please delete the customer by customer ID. Okay, please get all the customer, offset and length. Like suppose I have added 100 customer. So if I have 100 customer, so I don't want to get the 100 customer, I want to get the 10 customer only. So how I can get that one? Using the pagination. So offset will be the index and size will be your limit. Like offset, like from the first record to 10th record I want. So how I can do that one? I have to specify here offset limit, like 0 will be the 0th index or 1 first index. From the first index get me the 10 records. So from first index it will start and it will give the 10 record, whatever the 10 record will be there. And next time you want to get from 11th record, you want to get the 20 record or 10 record, you can get. So this is the nothing but paginations here in offset and size. So here is the implementation. So implementation of service is very simple, just implementing the customer services, and we are giving the implementation for all these methods, for save customer, update customer, get customer, delete customer by ID, get all customers. We are just giving the implementation. And if you see the definition, @service communicate with @repository to query the data from data source or from database. That can be database, can be anything, MySQL, SQL, whatever. We are using our MySQL. Okay, so that is communicating with @repository. If you see, this is your service, @service. You can give here service name. We have seen this one in our Springboot Springboot configuration and Springboot and Spring introduction. In the Spring course also we have seen what is the use of these services, how we can create. So this is your service name. So here you can see we are giving an auto-wide. What is that one? Customer repository we are auto-widing. So here we have said communicate, service will communicate with the repository to query the data from database, from a database. So here we have defined @customer repository, and that customer repository is used to save the data, save or to get or to delete or to find. Simple, very simple, very simple. Now if I will open the customer repository, so a customer repository don't have any methods. This is just an interface that is extending another JPA repository interface. That is nothing but Spring JPA, data JPA. We have seen in the Spring's last session, Spring before to Spring configuration, Spring configuration and Spring data JPA we have seen thoroughly. What is the use, how we can configure. This is your model, this is your model, this is your ID. Okay, so here if you see, this is your repository. What is repository? Query the data from database, data source such as MySQL, Oracle, MongoDB, Postgre. Okay, and with the help of model, and give the result to @service. So here where is the model? Where is model? Our model is customer. This is your model, @entity, that is marked with @entity, that is Hibernate entity class, and this class is mapped to this schema and table. These are the column name, like customer ID, that is a primary key, and automatically it is generating 1 2 3 4. This is your customer name, string type, customer mobile number, email ID, local date. This is your timestamp, created timestamp, updated timestamp. This is your description, string, price, big integer, gender, string like male, female, other like that. Date of birth, this is your date of birth, date type. This is your service taken, which service this customer is taking, service A, service B, service C, or service A, service B, which whatever. Okay, and getter and setter. That's it. That we will see in a separate session where we will learn Hibernate thoroughly. What is the use of @column? What is the use of this @ID? What is the use of @generated values? What is the meaning of length? We will see that later. Currently just you understand this entity class is mapped to your database with this database and this table. That's it. Okay, so here we said Repository, query the data from database, data source such as MySQL, Oracle DB, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, etc. with the help of @model and give the result to @service. That's it. So here, if this is your service, so this service is saving the customer DTO, but before to saving the customer DTO we have used an adapter. What is adapter? Adapter is nothing but that is used to transfer the data. Very simple. Adapter is nothing but, because this logic we have to this logic is used so many times, and we should not repeat our code. We should not do that one. Our code should not be repeated. In that case, we have added all the data transfer code, like we have to transfer the data from DTO, customer DTO to customer, or vice versa, from customer to customer DTO. We have to do that one, and that logic we should write in a separate class, so that every time whenever we need we can call. We should not repeat the code. It is a very bad practice if you are repeating yours. If you are making duplicating your code, you should not duplicate the code. Code should be reusable once written, and that can be reused. Same code should not be written twice or thrice. It should not be like that. So this code is a generic code that is used to transfer the data from the customer DTO. It is transferring data. It is just calling getter, setter, setting, getting. That's it. Or vice versa, from customer to customer DTO, or from customer DTO to customer. Okay. So here what we are doing, first we are doing what? First we are converting to customer model from the customer DTO, and then after it is we are converting to customer DTO, because it is giving the response. For same thing we are doing for update, for card operation. This is for to get the customer, delete the customer, to get all the offset. This is your offset. Page request of from this index to this index. That's it. This is a page request. So page request, if you give, it means it will give the limit 110. So first from first index 10 record, like that. Okay, and we are getting in form of page of customer, so that one we are transferring to list of customer DTO. We are creating here, and 1111 we are getting, and we are adding. That's it. Okay, so this is nothing but your repository. Next one is view resolver. What is view resolver? We have seen this is our view resolver. This one is our view resolver. Time leaf view resolver, that will resolve the time leaf files. Okay, so this is only the structure. If you see, adapter, one adapter is there, customer is, this is one customer, DTO, this is our customer DTO. Customer DTO is having these values. Okay, we'll see this one. Next one is a model. This is your customer, this is your model, customer DTO, and this is your repository. Repository we have already seen. This is a data JPA we are using. We have created another session. You can watch that one. What is the data JPA? How we should use. Next one is customer service and customer implementation. That's it. Service and implementation. So this is all about this application. Now we will see the functionality overall once. Run on server. Now application is starting. Once it started, it will automatically open in your browser. Yes, now you can see. So first what we are doing, we are adding customer. We are just adding the customer. So I am giving here customer like Prem Kumar. This is your customer name, Prem Kumar 1. I have given mobile number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, email ID prem@gmail.com. Description: my favorite customer, customer. Okay. Price, anything, I want to add this price. Okay. Gender, male. Date of birth, I have given this date of birth, but still you can see this is not a date of birth, this is a upcoming date. No, it cannot be date of birth. 2 services, 1 and C. Submit. So if I am just submitting, you can see here we are getting that errors in our UI. How this error is coming, how this validation is happening? Here it is clearly suggesting name should contains alphabets only and start with uppercase. Suppose this one Prem is correct, no, but if I give first P is small, then also it will give the same error. Prem Kumar. Name should contain alphabets only and start with uppercase. It should start with uppercase. Yeah, now if I submit, so this error gone, that error is not there, but this error is still there. Mobile number should have 10 digits only, so I'm just adding one more digits, and now again I am trying to submit, so this error is gone now, but data still it is populating. How it is possible? Because of this one, only. We are adding this attribute, same attribute again, same whatever the customer DTO we are receiving in the HTTP request, that same DTO, if has any error, same DTO we are adding, so the data is populating. So here what it is saying, invalid date, it should be date, it should past date only, it cannot be a present or any date. So where is this, all these validations here, and how this validation is coming here? This validation is happening with this @valid annotations. So what this valid annotation is doing, this valid annotation is looking for the annotation that is given under customer DTO. These are the annotations. So here from where these annotations is included, that is included from Jakarta.validation, the latest version. Before the version for validation was used Java X.validation. Now that is moved to Jakarta. Okay, so Jakarta.validation.constant.digits email, minimum, maximum, not blank, past, pattern. All these are the annotations that is used to do the validations. Not blank, you can see here, not blank means this customer name should not blank. What happen if I will left this customer name is blank? What happen? You see, customer name is required, 2 errors are coming, and this time if I added one customer name, but this customer name is provided, so one error still it is coming. Why? Because we have added 2 annotation. One is not blank, it should not blank. If it is a blank, then please enter customer name is required. If it is blank, if this is a blank, it will give what? It will give customer name is required also. Otherwise name should contain only alphabet and start with uppercase, like Prem Kumar. That's it. Now this name is correct only, there is no error. In the similar way, we have given for mobile number minimum, this should be 10 digit. What is the minimum number of 10 digits? 110000 like that. And max, min and max we can use, or we can use the digits, that is up to your choice. Digit, the friction part is 0, there is no friction part. Integer 10, like it can contain 10 digits only. And if it is not following this pattern, then in that case you should give mobile number should have 10 digits only. That's it. So this is your mobile number validation, or else you can use min and max also. That is also fine. That is also fine. So but I am giving here mobile number should have 10 digits only. That's it. So this is your mobile number validation. So if your mobile number validations, if you are giving here, so it is giving mobile number should have 10 digits only. That's it. Okay. This is your favorite, but it should not contain any and I think. So in that case it is giving description should contain alphabets, but you are giving in description and any symbol that's not required. So in that case, whatever the validation we can give using annotations, not blank, pattern, min, digits, not blank, email. This is your pattern like description. It should be in this way. This should be the pattern. Created timestamp, automatically it is creating. Update timestamp, automatically it is generating. So you no need to give any of the annotations. So this local date and local updated timestamp will not be validated at all because there is no annotation. Okay. Decimal, price also will be validated. This can have a 10 digits or less than 10 digits, but friction part should have 3 digits only. Otherwise it will give invalid price. How? Suppose, so enterprise, so up to 3 digits. You can see what is the friction part of this one. For price, what is the friction part? 3. So up to 3 point, after point up to 3 digits are allowed. So 1 2 3, but if I 1 2 is giving, that is okay. There is no error. But if I will add one more after point, it is saying invalid price. Okay, fine. This one male, female or other, at least we have to select. If we don't select, it will give that error. But currently we have selected, we don't have any option. And this can have these 3 values, either male, female or other. For gender, cannot have any other value. Okay. Next one is date of birth. Date of birth should be a past date. So invalid data, it should not be data, it should be date, D-A-T-E. Okay, date. It should be past date only. Okay. Okay, fine. Service taken, that I don't have any annotations here. Okay, fine. So I think this is reloaded. Yeah, it is reloading because once you changed any .java files, automatically your server will be reloading. Okay, now this time the date of birth, for date of birth, currently if you see for date of birth it is giving invalid data, but it should be invalid date. We have fixed that one, we have changed it. It should be past date only. So if I again submit, it is saying invalid date. It should be past date only. It should not be future date because date of birth cannot be future date. And that also we can validate, like it should not be, at least it should be an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, whatever we want to do, but we have not implemented that one. We can implement. Now this is correct, this is correct. Now just submit. After submitting, it is coming to this success page. New customer added successfully. Customer ID is 15. Now we can go to home dashboard. So here you will see in your customer class, if you see, if your customer has error, then definitely it is staying to add customer page only, and it is adding the same customer DTO. But if there is no error, then you should not go to add customer, go to another customer, and where you are just showing this message, new customer added successfully. This is your customer ID, and message view name is what? View name is success. And what is your model data? What is your model data? Here you are saying model and view. So view is success now. But what is the model? This is your model data. Model add object, MSG, message. This is your message. So the same message, new customer added successfully. New customer added successfully. After that one colon, after that colon, customer ID is equal customer ID is equal 15, whatever the customer ID will be there, the same customer ID it is giving here, and it is returning model and view. And if I click here, so which will be called, so here this URL will be called showing customer dashboard. So let's click here, it is going to showing customer dashboard, that's it. So showing customer dashboard, it is coming here, that's it. Just clearing this one, okay, showing customer dashboard. Next operation is view customer. Add customer, we have seen add customer. Next one is view customer. How it is doing the view customer? View customer is nothing but it is taking an index limit 1 2 1 2, and this one is getting the customer, get all customer from this index to this index, all the customer list it is adding, and that customer list it is adding into model. Here customer DTOs we are using, customer DTOs. Just I am closing other files so that I can show you. Now view customer.html. Now go to view customer.html. So view customer.html, if you see view customer.html, here if you see customer DTOs, what is customer DTOs? Customer DTOs is this one, model customer DTOs, DTO, and that DTO is nothing but a list of customer DTOs, and view customer is your HTML file. So this is your HTML file, it will show. So here what you are doing, here we are applying for each loop. TH stand for time leaf, each what, each of this customer DTOs, that should be a collection in that case. That can be an array, that can be a set, that can be a list, that can be map, anything it can be, but it should be collection. So yeah, definitely customer DTO is collection only, no? Customer DTO is what? Customer DTO is a list of customer DTOs, it's a collection. So definitely it will iterate here, customer DTO, and it will be collected one DTO in customer DTO. Customer DTOs will be iterated and collected into customer DTO. Using this customer DTO, you can show anything here like customer DTO dot description, time leaf dot text. We will see time leaf in a separate session, all the syntax, how we can give the text of a URL, time leaf. Yeah, you can see here time leaf dot href, hyperlink reference, time leaf value, time leaf text, time leaf each. So we will see all those in separate course where we will learn time leaf. So currently just you understand this customer DTO will be here, customer DTO, and that can be used to get the value. Like customer DTO has a description, you can see customer DTO has a description, customer DTO has a email ID, customer DTO has a mobile number. So the same thing we are getting here, no? Customer DTO description, customer DTO dot price, customer DTO dot customer ID, customer DTO dot customer name, customer DTO dot service taken, customer DTO dot email, customer DTO dot mobile number. So like that we can get all the values. And if I will go to the view customer, it is showing the customer here. See, two customer, one customer was already added, this is the second customer, that's it, you can add. And here it is showing all the details, it is representing the data. That is the definitions of @controller. Handle the client UI browser request in form of HTTP control protocol via dispatcher servlet of Spring MVC and generate HTTP response in form of UI component along with the DTO, data transfer object, along with the DTO. So this same thing it is happening here. Same thing is happening here. This is your customer controller that is generating a view customer UI with customer DTOs objects in data, and the data is shown in UI. See, that's it, very clear. Now here are two operations. One operation we have already done, add customer, we can add customers here, no? Another one is view customer, two customer. Now we can see, if I want to see the one customer, then I can directly give here one 1, sorry, 1. So only one customer will come, because limit is I have given here. You can see, observe the URL IDX index from 0 to 1 or 0 to 2, 2 will come, or 0 to 100, 100 will come. So currently we don't have 10 records. If I will give 10 here, will not come 10. Why? Because only currently we have 2 records only, so it is getting 2 records. Okay, so here add customer and view customer we have seen. Next one is delete customer. Delete customer you can do from here. You can see this is your delete customer. Same thing, view customer, delete customer. So delete customer, what it is giving, it is returning delete customer .html. That's it, simple. And in delete customer HTML we can enter our customer ID and we can just submit. So if that customer is existing, it will return to success page, otherwise it will throw exception. So this is your delete customer. So I will just go and I will delete this last one. So from here also you can delete. I will add here 15. You want to delete from here, you can delete. Your customer is deleted. Dashboard view, only one customer is there now. If you want to delete from here, you can directly delete. So if all I will add here, like I added this customer Jyoti. This is number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Email ID is description is some DCRIP description, customer price, any price, but this will not valid. 1234 1234.56. okay, this is female. Okay, any date of birth, any past date you can give. Okay, service AB is selected and save. So it's added. Now go to home, and you can view the customer. So it is customer here. So we can add here. Now we can delete from here itself. If I will just click on this delete, it is deleted. Home, view, that's it. Next one is edit. Edit is nothing but the update only. Edit is nothing but update only. So update customer. For update customer, it is calling this update customer. CID. Here path variable will be there. We have seen what is the use of path variables. What is path variables? What is so here if you see, this is model and attribute. Model and attribute holding the data in form of DTO. But if I want to handle the data in form of URLs, then path parameter you can take. Path parameter IDX. Where it is coming, that is coming here. You can see this is your path param, this one. After this is whatever I have selected in the URL, that is your path variable, path param, that is your path param IDX 0 length. So this is also data, but that data is traveling in header, in URL itself, and you can see that data also. But this data @ model attribute data is traveling under HTTP body, that is traveling inside HTTP body. Okay, fine. So this is also body, but this @ path param is traveling via path URL, path parameter, traveling as a path parameter. And in the same way, path variable also you can pass some data in your URL, but that will not be passed as parameter, that will be passed as URL itself. Like after user ID, just you give any update customer. After this update customer, you have to give a customer ID. Suppose let me add one new customer, like give here again. Okay, Prem Kumar, I will just add. Okay, and here is the contact number, just random contact number. Here it is the from Prem ID Okay, customer price, okay, anything, mail, birthday, okay, any past date, A, C or ABC, all you can take. So this customer is added here. This customer ID is 17. Okay, now you will see here view customer, two customers are there. I want to update the customer, so I have to first show the update customer UI. So update customer user, how it is showing, after update customer, after slash you have to append customer ID, and that is a get mapping, and it will return the customer detail in customer DTO. This is same customer DTO only. Here in the inside this model it is adding attribute customer DTO, and this customer DTO is getting by customer ID. And where is this customer ID? That customer ID we are getting in URL path variable. So if you see, if I click on this edit, and you can downside you can observe localhost 8080, after that one Springboot MVC demo application context, after that one update customer 5. So I clicked here, so it is coming here update customer dashboard, and it is filling the detail here also. See, it is filling the detail. View customer Prem Kumar or anyone, Prem Kumar, edit, it's coming here Prem Kumar, it's filling this detail. And if you observe this path, after update customer, after slash I am adding here 17, and another one is 5. So this is fifth one. If I will give here after remove this 5 and give 17, this will change the details. Now the detail is coming for custom Prem Kumar. Okay, if I will give here 5 Ramnivas, similar. Okay, why this is okay. So here just you can give any like M, add this one, or Kumar you can add AUM here Kumar, that's it. Now this will be updated. Now just click on update. Yeah, customer is updated. And now if you view the customer Ramnivas Kumar, simple, it's updating. Prem Kumar, if you want to update this one, Prem Kumar Kargwal, anything, whatever you wanted to give, you can give updated. Any detail, it's not like that you can update only the customer, any details you want to update. So currently you can see Prem Kumar Kargwal has 3 service, but I want to remove this service C. How I can do? Very easily, remove the service, update, that's it, and go to dashboard, view, that's it. Okay, so like that we can give delete operation and edit operation. So for the update you can see here, the same operation, we are not doing anything much here. Same validate, everything is same, validate model attribute, we are validating. If it has any error, then stay on update customer, otherwise return success method, and update, give the method customer updated successfully. That's it. So this is your Springboot MVC application, Springboot MVC application. Under views, all the view, under customer, under controller, the controller will be there, adapter, and that's it. So this, in this way you can create a fully fledged applications. Add, view, create, view customer. Okay, fine. So this is your Springboot MVC applications. how can you create that Spring Boot MVC. So I hope you like this session. Please subscribe my channel, and we will see you in the next session. In the next session we will see Spring REST with Spring Boot. So please like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching. We will see you in the next session.